What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another Stocks and Shares ISA portfolio update. So, as you guys are probably well aware, the stock market has had a bit of a meltdown. If you look at the S&P 500 and look at the last month, what it's just been straight down 7.48%. So, as you guys may be aware, like my portfolio has not been holding up, especially considering I'm all in on Tesla, and Tesla is a risky stock compared to, like, if you just compare it to the S&P 500. If you go to the Nasdaq and look at the 1 month, we are down a bit more than the S&P 500 just because the Nasdaq is weighted towards more risky tech investments. But yeah, if you compare it to my Tesla, which over the 1 month, down 27.3%. So what does that mean for my portfolio? Yes, it means that my current portfolio is valued at £82,000 in my ISA. I'm up 11.52%. I've got a gain of £8,537. Now, a lot of you who would have seen like my other videos are saying sell, 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 like because you guys think it's going to continue falling down. Now, if we look at the benefit in hindsight, if you go to the 1 year chart, when Tesla was trading in the $400 ranges, you could look back and say, oh yeah, you should have sold when it's 400. But like now, Tesla has already priced in, like as well as the rest of the market, a lot of the bad news to do with tariffs and obviously the so-called brand impact by Elon Musk, like Elon Musk's political views. Now, the one thing I will say about that is I don't think personally Elon Musk's political views are that outrageous where it's going to completely stop everyone from buying Teslas. Now, I think the people who will still buy Teslas who want to buy Teslas just because they're an amazing product will still buy Teslas. Ultimately it will be massively dependent on the price that Tesla can sell their cars for. The one thing that this will do is it will make current Tesla owners and future Tesla owners maybe holding off about getting like an upgrade, either upgrading a Tesla or buying a Tesla, just because of the really radical people that might now vandalize Teslas. People might hold off because they don't want their having to have pay higher insurances or have to pay for their car to get repaired after it getting keyed. That is the one thing that might put Tesla buyers off. But obviously that is a very small subsect of the population that are going to go that extreme to just key a random stranger's car just because of the person who owns the company that makes the cars that has some political views that you may disagree with. I think that's the only thing I see that might hold people off, because I think most people are very rational when they're making their decisions. They're saying, is this a good product? So that's the only thing, and that's very, very small. It's definitely not warranted. If we look at definitely that small little thing, I don't think warrants the sell off. Obviously, there is concerns with China tariffs and all sorts, but most of the vehicles that Tesla sells in the US are made in the US. They don't export from China to the US. So they won't even pay any of these tariffs. They could say they might pay some tariffs on the raw materials, but I think there will be a workaround where they don't, because a lot of their manufacturing and 60% of their vehicle is made in the US. So I think Tesla will be able to avoid tariffs. But the one thing that will hurt Tesla is that they won't be able to produce these vehicles cheaper in Mexico and import to the US. That is one thing that they have had to hold, but then that should have been priced in before this news. So I think a lot of this is being over exaggerated in terms of the effects, hence why I'm not selling. Obviously, you do have some insider selling, but they have constant access to new shares. Like if you have a worker that gets paid in Tesla shares, and in order for them to get money, they have to sell some of their Tesla shares, then that probably makes sense. But for me, who doesn't work for Tesla and get paid in Tesla shares, I have to if I want to own part of the company, I have to buy the Tesla shares, and there's no point. For me, it just that same logic as insiders are selling, because the main reason why that is to get capital, as part of their paycheck. Whereas that's not the same situation for me. I'm buying it to like look long term in the future about the company and the future prospects of the company. Obviously, not financial advice. Do your own research before investing in companies, as your capital is at risk, as you guys have seen from my portfolio. As it did hit a high of £141,000, and now it's in at £82,000. Obviously, this is all on paper gains or losses, so none of this stuff is realised. I'm not worried about it. I've been in this position before. If you go to the max, we see that my portfolio in this account was £40,000, and then it went all the way down to £18,000. So more than 50% drop. This is only a 20, like 7%, 30% drop. So yeah, I've been in this position before. I'm not worried. I'm just holding for the long term. If I just look at the general trend of my portfolio, over from when I started it being only a couple £1,000 to now being £82,000, like if I just continue that trajectory, I will continue to hit my goal. Now, based off the current climate, do I still think my £300,000 goal at the end of the year is doable? Well, it very much depends on Tesla's full self-driving, and what they can achieve with that. I think that if the price stays low, I will be able to acquire more than what my goal shares were, because obviously I want to hit 500 shares this year, and I think because if you add, I think I'm only about 18 shares away once I get paid in a couple of days. So yeah, I'll be able to buy more shares, and then that'll be it. So yeah, I'm only about 18 shares away, so I should hit in that next couple months. And then I probably will start continue to add. Obviously, I will be opening up an Invest Engine account, and I'll just start to dollar cost average into that, just to kind of build up an emergency fund, because obviously I can't, like with Tesla and it being having massive swings right now. If I wanted to withdraw some of this capital, I don't want to withdraw it after it's ran down from 141,000 to 82,000. So I want to almost build an emergency fund that I can sell if needs be. And obviously, people say if you want an emergency fund, have cash, but I don't need this money for the next 2 years. I'm in a situation where this money doesn't really need to be accessed. The only real use for this money would be a house deposit, which would be in the next 3 years at the earliest. So I feel fine just building an emergency fund in an S&P 500 index. So yeah, that's what I'll be doing from the new tax year, and I'll be creating a series, just investing £100 a week, and maybe you guys might want to follow along with me if that's something you're interested in. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching. Please make sure to leave a like, subscribe. It really helps out the channel grow. And I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.